Good morning, one and all. Today, I am going to discuss performance curves of DC motors and brake test on DC motors. In this session, we will discuss about the characteristics and performance curves of DC shunt motor and DC series motor. After that, I will discuss about how to conduct brake test on DC motors. In this video lecture, the main objectives are discussing about performance curves of DC motors and brake test on DC motors. The essential characteristics of DC motors are torque, current, speed, and efficiency. Means we will draw the characteristic curves of shunt motor and series motor for torque, current, speed, and efficiency on XY plot, and we will discuss the characteristics thoroughly. Each characteristic is plotted as a function of motor output power. The characteristics are also known as performance curves. Then coming to the DC shunt motor performance characteristics curves, the DC shunt motor has a definite no load speed and it does not run away when load is suddenly thrown off, provided the field circuit remain closed. We already know that the speed characteristics, and this is a practical and this is this is a theoretical and this is practical. And when there is load at time, this is the speed, and when there is no load, and this is the speed. When it is no load or full load, almost it maintain constant speed motor. That's why it does not run away when the load is suddenly thrown off, and already the field circuit is remaining closed. The drop in speed from no load to full load is small, referred as a constant speed, and this is no load, and if this is considered as a full load, from no load to full load the drop is very small, and we will consider the shunt motor as constant speed motor. The speed of any load within the operating range of the motor can be obtained by varying the field current by means of field rheostat. We have armature control method and field control methods. The efficiency curve is obtained the same shape of all electrical motors and generators. Efficiency curve shape and the maximum efficiency point can be varied. DC shunt motor have a lower starting torque. We have torque is directly proportional to pi Ia. In shunt motor, the flux is practically constant. Then the torque is proportional to armature current. That's why the DC shunt motor have lower starting torque. And DC shunt motor is incapable of starting a heavy loads. Means to start with a heavy load, the torque required is more. If we will start with heavy load, It with this DC shunt motor, it draws huge amount of armature current. DC series and compound motors are capable of starting loads with less excessive current input. Why? Because those characteristics of torque is square of the armature currents. With less amount of current, they will start with heavy loads. And the depreciation on the DC shunt motor will relatively less. If twice full load torque is required at start, the DC shunt motor draws twice the full load torque, and series motor draws only approximately 1.5 of the time of the full load current. Why? Because the torque is square of the armature current, and armature current is required directly proportional to the under root of armature torque. Then coming to the characteristics of a DC shunt motor, and this is a performance characteristics. In this, we will plot on the horizontal axis output, and on the vertical axis we will plot torques, current, efficiencies, speeds, all on one XY plot. Then coming to the characteristics of DC shunt motor, if applied voltage V is kept constant, the field will remain constant. Hence, flux will have maximum value on no load, but will slightly decreases due to armature reaction as the load increases. But for most purposes, the flux is considered to be constant, neglecting armature reaction effect. From speed equation, the speed N is directly proportional to the back EMF AB, or speed is proportional to V minus IaRa. I am replacing back EMF equation with V minus IaRa, and inversely proportional to the flux pi. Since flux is considered to be constant in DC shunt motor, so with increase in armature current, the speed slightly falls due to increase in voltage drop in armature, and the speed armature current curve coincides with the back EMF armature current curve. Since voltage drop in armature at full load is very small as compared to applied voltage, so drop in speed from no load to full load is very small. You can see here the drop here, this is a no load and this is full load, is very small. If demagnetizing effect of armature reaction is considered, the drop in speed due to voltage drop in armature is compensated for up to some extent due to decrease in flux with increase in armature current, and speed armature current characteristics is less drooping even be rising if demagnetization is high. Thus, the drop in speed from no load to full load is very small, and for all practical purposes, the DC shunt motor is taken as constant speed motor, underline constant speed motor. Since there is a slight variation in speed of the shunt motor from no load to full load, and this slight variation in speed can be made up by inserting resistance in shunt field and so reducing the flux. Therefore, Shunt motors can be used for the loads which are totally and suddenly thrown off without resulting in excessive speed. Please underline this statement. Shunt motors can be used for the loads which are totally and suddenly thrown off without resulting in excessive speed. Shunt motors, being constant speed motors, are best suited for drivings of line shafts, machine lathes, milling machines, conveyors, fans, and for all purposes where constant speed is required. It is not suitable for use with flywheel or with fluctuating loads or for parallel operation due to its constant speed characteristics. It is also useful where a moderate degree of speed control is required. Then, torque armature characteristics. From the expression of the torque of DC motor, torque is directly proportional to flux and armature current. Since in the case of DC shunt motor, the flux per pole is considered to be constant. Therefore, the torque increases. You can see here the torque increases with increasing in load current following linear law. That is, torque armature current characteristics is a straight line passing through the origin. But weakening of field due to armature reaction causes torque line to droop slightly, and the iron and friction losses causes it to be slightly lower than the line representing electromagnetic developed torque. The torque is equal to 0.159 pi ZPIA by A Newton meters. This is about torque characteristics. Previously, I explained about the speed characteristics. Now I explained about the torque characteristics. Now I am going to explain speed torque characteristics of DC shunt motor. For DC shunt motor, flux remains more or less constant, and therefore the speed of the motor is constant for the machine. The characteristics will be linear in nature, means this type of motor is used in applications required medium starting torque such as centrifugal pumps, blowers, fans, conveyors, boring mills, shapers, woodworking machines, spinning and weaving machines, printing presses, and lastly machine tools, etc. DC shunt motor should never be started on heavy loads because such loads need heavy starting current. The four important characteristics of DC shunt motors, namely torque, speed, armature current, and efficiency, each plotted against the useful output power, as shown in this slide. These curves are also known as performance curves of a DC shunt motor. From the speed useful output power curve, it is seen that the shunt motor has definite speed at no load. Hence, it does not run away when the load is suddenly thrown off, provided that the field circuit remains closed. The fall in speed from no load to full load is small. Hence, these motors are used where substantially constant speed is required as a machine shop drives. Next, from the efficiency output curve, this is efficiency output curve, it is noted that the efficiency of a shunt motor increases rapidly in the beginning, reaches its maximum and then falls. In shunt wound motors, the field, friction and iron losses are approximately constant, but at light loads their percentage is high as compared with load. The armature copper loss varies as the square of the current means I square R. So this loss, termed as variable loss, increases rapidly with increasing in load. The efficiency of the shunt machines become maximum. Suppose this is the maximum. At that point, the condition is variable loss is equal to constant loss. Next, coming to the performance characteristics from armature current, you can see this is the armature current and output power curve. A certain value of current is required even when the output is zero. You can see here the output is zero, but there is certain amount of current is required. The motor input power under no load condition is consumed in meeting the various losses occurring within the machine, not variable losses, various losses. A shunt wound motor is said to have a low starting torque as compared to other motors, but it does not mean that a shunt motor is incapable of starting heavy loads. A shunt motor is capable of starting heavy loads also, but it would requires more excess of current input over normal values than the series and compound motors. For instance, if twice full load torque is required at start, the shunt motor will draw twice full load current. Since torque is directly proportional to the armature current, but series motor would draw only approximately 1.414 times the full load current, since torque is directly proportional to the square of the current. Due to this reason, shunt motors are always started at no load or lightly load and the load is applied. Means started at no load or started at light loads and then load is applied. When a motor is required to start heavy loads, series or compound motors is used. And this is the performance characteristics of DC shunt motor for torque, current, efficiency and speed. Then coming to the characteristics of DC series motor. Drop in speed with increased load is much more prominent in series motor than in a shunt motor. For a given current input, the starting torque developed by the series motor is greater than developed in shunt motor, since torque is directly proportional to the square of the current. Series motors are used where huge starting torque is necessary. For street cars, cranes, hoists, and electrical railway operations. Another unique characteristics of series motor, which makes them especially desired for traction work. When the load comes on series motor, it responds by decreasing its speeds. As load increases, speed decreases. When there is no load, a huge amount of speed supplies the increased torque with a small increasing in current. Then coming to the series motor performance characteristics, curve is plotted for torque, current, efficiency and speed on this XY plot. Then coming to the characteristics of DC series motor, the torque current characteristics. From the expression of mechanical torque, T is obvious that torque is directly proportional to the product of flux per pole and armature current IA. Up to the saturation point, flux is proportional to the field current, and hence in the armature current, in the series motor, the armature current, field currents are same. Means before saturation, the pi is proportional to armature current, and here armature current is there. Finally, before the saturation, the torque in DC series motor is square of the armature current. Therefore, on light load, mechanical torque is proportional to the square of the armature current. That is, torque is directly proportional to the square of the armature current, and hence curve drawn between the torque and armature current up to saturation point is parabola. Underline parabola. Series motors. It is useful for sometimes. After saturation point, the flux is constant and torque is directly proportional to the armature current only. That is, torque is proportional to the armature current. Hence, the characteristics became a straight line. The useful torque is, of course, less than the total or gross torque developed. This is due to the torque lost in iron and friction and windage losses. From the torque armature current curve, it is evident that so long as the field of the motor is not saturated, the series motor exerts a torque proportional to the square of the current. That is, starting torque is very high. Hence, series motors are used where large starting torque is required for accelerating heavy masses quickly, such as in hoist, electrical railways, trolleys, and electric vehicles. From torque current characteristics, it is evident that Series motor develops large starting torque to accelerate the heavy masses from speed current characteristics. It is also evident that speed falls as the load increases. As the load increases, speed will falls. So series motor is automatically relieved from heavy excessive loads. Therefore, series motor is best suitable for electric traction work. The speed torque characteristics of DC series motor is also known as mechanical characteristics. Speed sharply falls with increasing in torque for smaller values of the loads. But at higher loads, the speed drops linearly but slowly with increase in torques. Hence, series motors are best suitable for services where the motor is directly coupled to the loads, such as fans whose speed falls with increasing in load torque. Then coming to the performance curves of DC series motor, again 4 important characteristics of a DC series motors, namely torque, speed, current and efficiency, each plotted against useful output power. The speed of series motor, please see this curve. The speed of series motor falls rapidly with increase in load. So series motor is not suitable for services requiring constant speeds. Next, please, this is efficiency curve. The efficiency increases rapidly in the beginning, reaches to maximum and then decreases. This is due to the fact that at light loads, the friction and iron losses are large compared with load, and the effect of these losses become less when increasing in load. The armature and field copper losses varies as the square of the current. So these losses increases rapidly with increasing in load. The efficiency become maximum when the friction and iron losses practically equal to copper losses. Series motor develops a starting torque. Now see this curve. The series motor develops a starting torque comparatively greater than that developed by shunt motor for a given current. Hence, series motors are best suitable where huge starting torque is required. That is for streetcars, cranes, hoist and locomotives. In addition to the large starting torque, there is another unique characteristics of series motor which makes them best suitable for traction service. For instance, let a streetcar ascend a gradient. In case the shunt wound motor is used for driving the above streetcar, it will maintain the speed of the car at approximately the same value, but that it had on level ground, and therefore will tend to draw an excessive current. Then coming to a series motor, on the other hand, automatically shows down on such a gradient because of increased current demand, and therefore it develops more torque at reduced speed. This drop in speed allows the motor to develop a large starting torque with moderate increase of power. Hence, under the same load conditions, the rating of a series motor would be less than for a shunt motor. This is about the explanation of performance characteristics of DC series motor. Next, I will discuss about the testings of DC motors. Before coming to the testing of topic of DC series DC motors, why testing of a DC motor is required? Why we are conducting in laboratories, in experimenting colleges? Why we are conducting? Why we are testing? This testing is mainly to know the performance of the machine, and the testing of the machine is to know what are the losses are taking place, how much losses are taking place when at the time of purchasing and at present. Also to know the efficiency of the machine, whether the efficiency of the machine is reducing. With that, shall we continue with the same motor, or we can replace with the another new motor can be known by conducting testing motors. Latter, quality of the materials is used. By testing that machine only, whether the materials are withstanding the heat and all other conditions in meeting or not, can be found during the testing only. And last one is there any modifications are required in the manufacturing process? Is known by conducting or by testing a DC motor, can be known is there any modifications required for that machine. That's why testing of DC motor is required for the following reasons. And then coming to the types of testings of a DC motor, the testings are classified into mainly two types. One is direct method, second one is indirect method. What is the meaning of direct testing and indirect testing? Direct method means, suppose we want to know these all these causes, the performance, losses and efficiencies and qualities and any modifications can be directly means if a motor will brought and we will put physical amount of load, means to test 2 amperes, 4 amperes, 5 amperes, 6 amperes, we will draw the current and we will know the losses and we will find the efficiencies and we will know the heat losses and all these performance characteristics by physically testing. This is only to test the machine whether it is working properly or not, but it is not doing any work, means most of the power is wasted for testing that machines. Suppose if it is a 3 kilowatts of machine, then 3 kilowatts of power will be wasted if it is directly tested. To avoid this direct physical test, we are conducting other method is indirect method. Indirect methods means we will not test the machine at full load or off load. We have efficiency formula output by input. Then we will know the losses at the beginning, nothing but no load losses by conducting swing burn methods. During this method, some of the losses because of the heat is not considering. That's why we are conducting another indirect test, that is Hopkinson's test. In these two tests are called indirect methods. We will not put full load on these machines. We will know these constant losses and we will substitute in the mathematical equation for any load, means half load, full load or 3/4 load. For that conditions, we will calculate efficiency at any point. And next class and next video lesson, I will explain this direct test and Swinburne test and Hopkinson test in the coming video lessons. Then coming to the today's topic, I discussed about the performance characteristics of DC shunt motor for torque, speed, armature current and efficiency with respect to output power. Later, I covered performance characteristics curves for DC series motors. In DC series motors, all the characteristics means speed, torque, armature current and efficiency plotted with respect to output power, and you have to remember these curves, performance curves. By seeing the performance curves, we can attempt a number of objective questions in so many competitive examinations. All the curves are plotted with respect to output, and the main thing you have to observe here, the shunt motor is a constant speed motor and the series motor is a variable speed motor. And the shunt motor can be started with light loads or sometimes no load, but the series motor cannot run with light loads or no loads. Later, the shunt motors is low starting torque motor and the DC series motor is high starting torque motor. Later I discussed about why we are conducting tests on DC motors. The testings are conducted to know the performance and to know the losses and to know the efficiency and also to know the quality of the materials and modifications if any required during the manufacturing of the process. And you can see this is a picture, this is a figure which is used to conduct a direct test. The direct test is also known as brake test. In the next video lesson, I will discuss about the brake test on all the motors and the derivation to know about the efficiency of the machines for direct test, means brake test of DC motors will be discussed in the next video lessons. And in later we will discuss Swinburne test, also called no load test, and regenerative test in the coming video lessons. Thank you for watching my video lessons.